black deck are often kind of ugly. It's Thoughtseize or Bust on turn 1, and then turn 2 is a kill spell or playing a 1/1 pack rat. If you can generate a big edge in those first 2 turns, that's often enough to beat mono black.
Speaking of mono black, Owen Turtenwald on your right, 6-0, former player of the year. Back-to-back Grand Prix winner. He's against Daniel Unger playing white-black humans. Here's a gray merchant from Turtenwald. We'll update you guys on the board position here as we are in game number 3. Desecration Demon and a gray merchant there for Turtenwald. Unger's side, he's got a Boros Elite, he's got a Banisher Priest, he's got a Daring Skyjack Mutavault among those lands. A couple cards in hand as well. Again, this is a deck that we saw Ben Stark make the top 4 of Grand Prix Dallas with. It's had a little bit of success in the Open Series circuit. We saw Vidianto Wajaya, play this deck at the Invitational and play it in a couple Open Series events as well to some cash finishes. So pretty decent deck that we have here. And I know one thing that Ben said is he really likes his matchup against Mono Black now.
Yeah, you actually have some removal spells that can check Desecration Demon, whereas with Boros you just have to work around it once it's in play.
And it's also really nice to have a card like Zathard Necromancer against Mono Black, a deck that's full of removal. Turtenwald going to immediately jump in front of that Mutavault. The Battalion trigger on both the Elite and the Skyjack means that Turtenwald will take 6. So it looks like our score now is 8-5 in favor of Unger. See what Turtenwald can do now. He's got a Devour Flesh in his hand, and he's got a land, so he's gonna have to get a little bit tricky here because I might see a Devour Flesh targeting himself here.
Yeah, especially since he has a Grey Merchant here that actually blocks a reasonable amount of what Daniel has in play. So he can play this game where Desecration Demon, Daniel may have to sack things to play around the threat of getting killed by Grey Merchant and whittle down his board a little bit that way. And if Daniel ever finds a way to assemble lethal, Owen can just Devour Flesh himself, gain a bunch of life, sacking the Desecration Demon.
So Turtenwald, after drawing his card, again, his hand right now is Devour Flesh and a Swamp. He says, Desecration Demon trigger, let's put it on this stack. What do you want to do? And this is a really, really difficult decision right now if you're Unger because, do you want to let him attack? I'm going to go down to 2 and then I die to another Grey Merchant? That is that a risk that you'd be willing to take?
I would here because I don't think you're beating another Grey Merchant here anyway.
Okay.
Just, Owen's actually in a position if he has another Grey Merchant that he could just start attacking with the Grey Merchant.
Sure.
And killing him that way. So I think Daniel's odds of being able to beat Grey Merchant are so low here that I would just ignore its presence.
And I think Daniel said that's fine. You can attack if you'd like to. Of course, you have to also remember if you're an Unger seed, just think about who you're playing against here.
Yep.
You're playing against one of the best players in the world right now, sitting at 6-0. Your decisions are magnified at this point.
Yeah, camera's on. This is no small match.
Yep.
Now Owen deciding what he wants to do with this demon.
Yeah, tough decision here for Owen because I'm sure that he worked into the equation of, okay, if you're going to let me attack, I probably have to because I can only imagine you playing a creature in your first main phase and then sacrificing that creature that has Summoning Sickness, so I might as well get my 6 damage across. And that's what he's going to do. So Unger's going to go down to 2, so now it's 2-5. Turtenwald is probably going to hold that land and try to bluff a removal spell, and that's exactly what he's going to do and pass the turn back. So Unger quickly untaps. He's going to take a draw. And so now, if you're Unger, you have to go through the process of, all right, what can he have? As we see an attack here with everything. So a very hasty attack. 2 Battalion triggers, so Skyjack has flying. This is a Brave the Elements to give creatures protection from blacks. This is an attacker for 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if Turtenwald sacrifices, if he Devour Flushes himself and sacrifices his Desecration Demon, he goes up to 11 down to 1.
Yep.
And so that's exactly what happens. How you see 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So there's no chump blocker. If Daniel has no chump blocker in his hand, then Owen just...
He just passes the turn back. So Turtenwald's going to quickly draw, attack, and that is it. Owen Turtenwald wins a very close one against Daniel Unger. Mono Black Devotion moving on to 7-0. We might have a Turtenwald-Perez battle here in the future, but for right now, Owen Turtenwald, former player of the year.